Hey, what up, dogs? Welcome back to Garo Attacks. Clicker Heroes! Alright, let's get right back into it, shall we? Last episode, we progressed like 5 levels, or 10 levels, or 15 levels, or some shit, most because we had a ton of money after not playing the game for like 2 weeks or whatnot. And we just spent it all on people, and holy shit, Maju is all the way at level 1000. He's doing 57% of the damage here. In fact, we leveled up so many people that Dread Knight down here, poor old Dread Knight down here, is only doing 5.68% of the total DPS now. Remember when he was like our 99.9 damage dealer? That was a crazy time. Now he's basically garbage. Weird how shit happens like that in this game. Regardless, we're really at this point, since all of our skills are like back. They're like back. We have them again. We're just going to wait until we find the boss, and then we're gonna see if we can defeat the boss using our skills. Most likely, you should be fine. I've gotten pretty far in this game just by using these skills whenever like I'm down and out, basically. So I've no, like, in that last boss that we used using the skills, we killed him in fairly quick time. So it's not that I'm saying this next boss we're gonna kill just as fast, but this next boss we're going to kill at least. It's not going to be fast, probably. It's definitely not going to be as fast. But we will kill it, and this will give us at least the littlest bit of progression. Otherwise, right now I'm just waiting for his timer to go all the way down so I can use my skills. Use the skills here. There it is. There it is. Okay, switch it to this. And see, he's not dying as fast, obviously, but he's definitely still gonna die. That's how you make daily progression without having to like wait an entire day for your money to like skyrocket. You can just there's a plateau that you hit when fighting bosses without using abilities. And then there's a plateau you hit when fighting bosses with abilities. What I'm talking about is usually most of the time before like these episodes, after doing all the lore of every single dude that we have. What's it called? Usually these episodes are all about. Well, back in the day, when we hit our the plateau that we would hit would be the first plateau. Whereas that, like, our DPS, our regular damage all the way up here, it carried us past bosses and enemies and stuff without having to use abilities. The second plateau you hit is the daily, plateau, as opposed to like a idle plateau. Let me explain. It's every day when you play. All these powers, well, most of them, not Dark Ritual, but all of the powers except for Dark Ritual have like an hour or less reload time or refresh time. Yeah, these powerful ones are definitely an hour. These ones are a half hour. These guys are 10 minutes. You can use these two up here for 10 minutes. Early on in the game, it's good to use them every 10 minutes, just because it gives you that awesome little boost of power and click damage that you need to beat certain bosses. But when you're as far as me, it doesn't do barely anything, because yes, it gives me 100% DPS for 30 seconds and 10 clicks per second for 30 seconds, but also it takes me out of idle. And remember, my ancients, when I'm idled, not only do they give me like way more fucking money, but also it gives me way more damage than it would if I wasn't idle. So I'm trading 417% DPS for 100% DPS. And unless I got other shit going on at the exact same time, it's definitely not worth it. That was probably the worst. That was probably the worst ability for the B to proc, because that's the only ability that the B procs that takes me out of what's it called? Idle. You know me, I like to idle. It's best way to play, in my opinion, the idle play. Sure, you could do like the ancient that's like the combo ancient. There's a combo ancient out there that like increases the damage you do the more clicks you do, and it's like an exponential increase. It's fucking crazy. If you level it up like all the way, you do like ridiculous amounts of damage. Even if you just have it for its first level ability, it still does a ridiculous amount of damage. If you got like Click Storm and Super Clicks, and you're just clicking a bunch, and you got Lucky Strikes obviously, and you're just clicking a bunch of times, and then holy shit, especially with Energize, you can either energize the Click Storm, which I think it might do doubles the effect, which would be what, 20 clicks per second. It doesn't double the duration. Or you could do it on this one, which would give 400% click damage. Or you could double Lucky Strikes, which would give it a 100% chance for critical hits. So you'd be doing nothing but critical hits for the next 30 seconds. It's pretty boss. It's pretty boss baller, regardless of what you do. But the combo ancient is definitely one that like benefits from the daily plateaus of using your abilities every hour on the hour, all at the same time. So you could do like the most damage against the boss as possible, and see like see if you can beat him. And the plateau you hit eventually is one where even though you're using all your abilities and you've used all your money to level up all your dudes every like 25 intervals, of course, because what's it called? Real quick, I just want to see. Darn it. Every 25 intervals, every 25 level intervals, of course, because otherwise, is it worth it? Can you work it? Because otherwise it would be suboptimal. Like, for example, like I said, using these two every 10 minutes. Sure, in the early game, once again, it's pretty valuable, but later on, it's just not worth it to come in every 10 minutes just to do this one. And yeah, so I like to wait. Some people like to wait for the half-hour mark so I can get Metal Detector and Lucky Strikes in it too, but the only reason Lucky Strikes is the big one, so that's a good one, I guess. But also I just like to do every hour, because that'll also give me golden clicks to combo with Metal Detector, which is really nice, and also the Energize effect to double one of the effects of one of these, and also I guess reload too. Reload, I just reload like super clicks most of the time, just because it's another thing of waiting 10 minutes or a half hour. It's just a habit I've gotten myself into, because if I do wait 10 minutes, I won't just have these two, I would also have this one, which it might be worth it with this one. And if I wait a half hour, I have this one in addition to these guys, which once again, it might be worth it. If our clicks do critical, or have a 50% chance of doing critical, that's an extra 200 damage on top of whatever the critical click multiplier / chances. So yeah, so I reload this one all the time. There's no way, this is it's true, there's no way to energize the reload, because it says double. Yeah, there's a reason why some of this stuff is worded and done in exactly the way it is, to prevent from getting super ridiculous combos and cheat like things. You can't energize the reload, because it says energize doubles the effect of the next skill you use. So this is reduce the cooldown of the last skill you used by an hour. So let's say you want to, what's it called? Let's say you want to reduce, because you're going for Dark Ritual, like epic awesomeness or whatever. Let's say you want to reduce the Dark Ritual, since it's 8-hour cooldown, you're reducing it for like 2 hours. So I guess you would do Energize and then Reload, but hey, Reload only reduces the cooldown of the last one you used, which would have been Energized. So it's basically just like going back and forth. So it's basically a waste of your time to energize, reload in that order. So you're basically just using your reload for no reason. you're basically just reloading energize, and now you have all your abilities still ready to go, except for reload. Reload's the only one that you fucked up there and didn't really do anything. So it's good to use reload on something here. Once again, I'm not a big fan of using reload on Dark Ritual. Yeah, sure, every 8 hours you could, use it, and then use reload right after to reduce it to 7 hours instead of 8 hours, but that's not a big fucking deal. Unless you're, like, going super hardcore and trying to do, like, maximum Dark Rituals, and you will log on every 7 hours on the dot, then, yeah, I guess. Do that. I don't know if it'll work out in the long run, because all it does is multiply your current DPS by 1.05, so it increases it by, like, what, 5% every time? Yeah, that's exactly right. Increases. Well, I don't know why it doesn't just say increase your DPS by 5% every 8 hours. That would be much more better. But yeah, it's basically Dark Ritual is like has the effect of giving you an achievement for just this ascension. Interesting. So yeah, I don't like that combo, the Dark Ritual and then reload combo. It's very stupid and it wastes it on something that you don't really need unless you're going for like some weird Dark Ritual run, and you could use it instead on a thing up here. Once again, yeah, I said reload is not super good on these abilities if you're not using them to their fullest potential. Like, I guess I am, since I'm not going in every half hour to do Metal Detector, Lucky Strikes, Clickstorm, Power Surge, along with Super Clicks, or along with Golden Clicks, if you're going for like a gold-centered thing with Metal Detector, or if you're going with the Click-centered thing, or a damage-centered thing with the Super Clicks. But otherwise, let's just see. Darn it. King Devil Crab. Not Primal. None of these last few bosses have been Primal. It's starting to piss me off. But the mark of whether or not, in my opinion, of whether or not you can kill a boss with your abilities is if you can take out its HP on like regularly without your abilities down to like a 1/6. Not 1/6 of his HP, but take 1/6 of it off. And it looks like we are able to do that. So this next boss should be fine if I come back in an hour and do it. But I'm not. I'm actually gonna wait a day because this is the second episode today that I've recorded. So my schedule is I do 2 episodes a day on days that I'm able to. That way I have a backlog, but it never gets like crazy long, like months long, because every day I'm doing 2 episodes, so it's like exponentially growing how much of a backlog I have. So I'm not going to do none of that, but it's a good way to get a decent enough backlog at least. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just standing here now. Here's the thing, Dread Knight's low enough that he doesn't need to be all the way leveled up to the 25th interval, like every 25 levels basically. So I don't need to bring him up exactly 25 levels. I can bring him up however much I can right now, and it'll just do a lot more DPS. So I think I'm gonna do that actually. Yeah, it brings it up to 166, and his DPS is a little bit higher. It's not the best, but also, we're gonna bring him up next episode when I come back tomorrow with it. So that'll be nice. Otherwise, yeah, I think this episode's done, just about. Like, subscribe, comment if you're enjoying the series so far. I know I am, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode of Garo Clicker Heroes. See you guys then. Peace out.